Hi, Indonesia. This is Alan and Steven from JOAN. Check out our interview on creativedisc.com, the number one music website in Indonesia.
Hello again, city lovers. Dundhee Yuwono is here with another Creative Disc exclusive interview. And today I'm so excited to introduce you to Duo from Little Rock, Arkansas. They've been touring with tons of musicians such as Coin, Jeremy Zucker, and also Horn. So without further ado, here with me now, Alan Benjamin Thomas and Stephen Rutherford, or known as Joan. Am I spelling your name right, guys?
Woo! That was
You
great.
did it. You got it right. Good job.
Yay! Hey, how are you? How are you? Are you good?
We're very good. Yeah, we're here in Little Rock, and the weather's like changing from winter to like spring, so
Mm,
it feels amazing outside.
yeah.
Everyone's
And
happy.
yeah, we're just like everyone's happy again. No one's like stuck in. We had like what a month ago, like literally 12 inches of snow, which is like pretty rare for where we're from. So
Right.
we were all stuck inside for a week, so it kind of sucked.
So you are in Arkansas now, both of you, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we live here.
Okay. So
Yep.
how's the boredom? Is it still there during this quarantine thing that's still happening until these days?
Would you say how's the boredom?
Yeah. How's the boredom? Is it still
Oh,
there? I mean, like, do
yes.
you have anything to what is it like? Throw the boredom away though.
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate in that we like this is our job. Like Joan is what we do for a living, and so we really love it. And so like it's there's like that phrase, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Like that's what we feel like. It's fun for us to do this every day. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, we're ready like the rest of the world to get over this crap. Like I'm ready to be able to like go do things with friends and not be afraid that I'm gonna catch something. So like
Yeah.
yeah, it's been the boredom is real for sure for everyone.
What is the thing that you miss the most during this quarantine and COVID-19 situation? What is the thing that you really, really miss the most?
Seeing
Touring.
people, yeah, well, that, yeah. I was gonna say seeing people's faces. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to like smile. Like, I'm like looking at people's eyes to see if they're like smiling at me when I'm like walking
Right,
past them. They
right,
squint. I guess they're kind of smiling, maybe.
right.
Um, but yeah, touring. That's probably a better answer. We miss being on the road for sure.
Mhm. So speaking of touring, I've learned that in 2019, you've been touring all over the place, and you've been to a couple of Asia's countries also, such as Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong. But do you have a chance to visit Indonesia at that time, though, or at the previous time when it's on tour, or just like take a break from tour, or just having a holiday?
No, I wish we did. We were actually, I think we were supposed to, and for some reason it didn't work out. But I'm very excited to get to Indonesia.
Yeah.
I've heard only good things about it.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've never been to Indonesia, but have you heard Indonesia though? I mean, what is the thing that comes in your mind when you first heard about Indonesia?
I first of all, I've always heard that the food is wonderful, which
Mm,
I'm sure like everyone says about where they live. But
yeah,
something about Indonesian food that's really special, and then that it's just beautiful there. And so I'm really intrigued to go because literally every place we went, like Singapore, like you said, Singapore, the Philippines,
mhm,
Thailand, like everywhere we went, we were mega impressed with how like warm and welcoming everyone was,
right.
and the food was all amazing. Although there's a lot of food that I had no idea what I was eating, and I was just totally guessing that what it was. Just 'cause, like every culture has different food and stuff, and so
Yeah,
and the weather. Like you guys have great weather all like it seems like all year round, right? Like, am I
yeah,
wrong?
yeah. We only have like two seasons in a year. It's just like summer and also raining season, and it's now raining heavily outside. I don't think
Summer
that
and
you.
rain.
Yeah. So Alan and Stephen, let's talk about your music. I am totally hooked with Brokenhearted. I mean, like the song reminded me with the most with 90s, 80s pop songs. I mean, with people my age, I kind of bored with this what is it like new songs that people release. But you came into what is it, give us some reconnection to the 80s and 90s music. I mean, how do you come up with the idea of bringing like 90s, 80s music to your music in the first place?
I mean, It's definitely like a conscious thing. I mean, we look back on those eras, especially the 80s, especially the 90s, exactly what you said. It was just like a really magical time. It was a time where soundtracks were like really popular, and you'd hear a song on a movie and it would like move you because there was like the visual element of you're seeing like that scene, and it's a sad scene and there's a sad song accompanying it, or it's a happy scene or a romantic scene or whatever. And yeah, we just like we took really kindly to like John Hughes films and John Cusack movies where he's got the boombox over his head and he's playing
Yeah.
it for the girl in her room, and like just I don't know, like when the song's playing and you're like, man, why am I affected like this? And it was just like brilliantly tying music with film. And so we were like, how can we tap into that, because it moves us. Maybe we can write music and in the same way, like even if it's not always accompanied with film or whatever, even if it's just our own visuals, like how can we move people in the same way? So it's kind of been like a driving theme, and we're like constantly chasing that, like that why what makes our arm hairs stand up because we're like giving us chills. We
Yeah.
want other people to experience that in our music. So no song is ever, if it doesn't pass that test, then it's like, why release it.
Mhm,
So
mhm, mhm. So it's funny because you mentioned arm like what is it, like give some chills whenever you're listening to your music, because at the first time I heard about the brokenhearted, I also like, this is the first initial emotion that I had. I'm smiling all the way through from the first beat until the end. I mean, like it it's so weird. It bring me so many memories. Yet I just listened to that song for the very first time. I mean, it's amazing that you had to do that in just one song. But
thank you.
after
That's
listening
awesome.
after listening to Brokenhearted, I listened to all of your music, and yes, the 90s, 80s vibe remains. So, who's your most like 90s, 80s music inspiration that influenced Joan's music?
um
Hmm.
off, off the top of the old dome here, I would say um 90s and even 80s, probably like the brokenhearted, I loved you first, another one of our ballads or whatever. We
Mhm.
love Brian Adams, and Brian Adams wrote just the absolute most banging ballads of all time with
Right.
Heaven, and so like every time I hear those songs, I'm like, man, how do we tap into that? And so that was a goal for us in that. And then even bleeding into like our song Love Me Better, we leaned heavily into the kind of like boom bap, New Jack Swing, Teddy Riley stuff from like the early 90s with
Mhm.
like, stuff he did on Michael Jackson stuff and Bobby Brown and like all these like just that era of music. We
Yeah.
were like, oh, how can we kind of tap into those drums a little bit, whatever. And then all the way up to the early 2000s, like we both grew up listening to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, and
Right.
those were like formative years for us as like young adolescents, but also like we didn't realize it, but these were like informing and shaping our musical taste for later. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know if that
Okay.
answered your question.
So, Steven, is there anything that you want to add about that?
That pretty much nails it on the head. I mean, I grew up, early on listening to music that wasn't what Joan kind of feels like. But I mean,
Mhm.
once I started getting into, in sync and going behind that, I mean, those are the ones that hit me the hardest too.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about your EP, new EP, guys. It calls Cloudy, and so I heard that you made the EP during pandemic, and I assume that you were apart from each other like this one when you working on the EP. Is that true?
No, we were able to be together. So we live
Oh,
like
okay.
basically same neighborhood, like one neighborhood away. And yeah, we just like we were super safe and tried to take every precaution we possibly could, but
Right.
it was kind of like, man, the way we're gonna be able to get through this is how we always work with, is just us in a room writing all day long. And so yeah, we were fortunate to be able to keep going
Mhm.
and safe at the same time. And so yeah, we were actually in this room right here. This is my little bedroom studio that we work out of every day. So yeah.
Ooh, cool. So for the Cloudy EP, you also recently released Partly Cloudy, if I'm not mistaken. which consists
Mhm.
of the same song actually, but with different kind of touch, I must say. And also the naming of the song, you put like all of the seasons, sunset, spring, winter. Is there like, I mean, the reason behind you released the Partly Cloudy and the naming of the songs?
Steven?
Yeah, I mean, whenever we were writing Cloudy, it was over a period of a year really, and I don't know, we had kind of memories of writing like in the summer and recording in the fall, and finishing it in the spring, and
Mhm.
yeah, so there were kind of different memories with the process of working on Cloudy, and we wrote those songs with a live show in mind, and whenever the pandemic hit, and we found out we weren't able to tour, we were like, man, what does this mean? We can't play these live,
Right.
like at least for a little bit, and basically took the time that we would be touring in the fall and said, what if we reworked these songs to where, they would fit more to someone that's, sitting in their room and not able to leave their house, like,
Mhm.
and they're looking outside in the dead of winter and it's snowing outside, and
Yeah.
what would it look like if we made the songs in that space, kind of thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, that's it. It just kind of made sense to finish them out and like rework them in that way, and we kind of like doing that, kind of giving two sides of what a song can mean, and kind of showing the songwriting in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that now we cannot make sure about the tour and stuff because the pandemic still happening though. But it's funny you mentioned about the touring while you what is like making this EP. Is there any plan to do like a virtual show? I mean, like what is it like? So you can your fans can so you playing live but virtually. Is there any plan for that,
Yeah,
or you just like
yeah, we're
mhm,
we're thinking through that right now. We did one with Cloudy whenever we released it, and we're currently working on a bunch of new songs and trying to figure out, when another virtual type show would work in kind of the release plan of these new songs. So
right?
yeah, I mean, I think if we're not able to tour, then we'll figure something out, because we love doing it and we love connecting with the fans anyway. So
Cool.
yeah.
I can wait. I can wait to watch you live virtually so that I can enjoy your
Yeah.
music during this pandemic time. So to wrap up this interview, is there any message to your Indonesian fans who happen to watch this video or listening to the podcast?
We miss you. We can't wait to come back to every beautiful country that we have visited and the ones we haven't visited yet in Asia. And man, we always feel so warm and welcome when we come over there. Just two guys from Arkansas, and so we're just so grateful to have fans there, and it blows our minds that people listen to us and clear on the other side of the world. So thank you. We love you, and we'll be back as soon as we can.
Cool. Steven, is there anything that you will add?
No, I mean, that's it. Like, I cannot wait to play shows again, and I can't wait to see people in the face while we're playing, music. So I'm very excited to be over there soon, and see you soon, hopefully.
I'm very excited to have you guys in Indonesia as well. When this pandemic over, we should hang out when you come
Yeah,
to Indonesia, right?
yeah,
I
you
I
got
would love that.
Thank
you
you
got.
guys so much for your time. It's been a pleasure of mine, and keep doing great, keep doing music, and we'll see you in Indonesia pretty soon.
Thank you so much, Dundhee. Appreciate
Awesome.
it.